my first exposure to NEMBUTOLIK was the EP Southeast Suffering from this year, and my first impression, what by the time I'd gotten to the end of the first song, was, man, your drummer is a big show off. You're very good at what you do. Mate,
he's usually the one that comes to the show off comments, so I'll take that.
it's nice. Mate, it's rad. So how did let's take it back to the beginning. How did NEMBUTOLIK come together?
It started off, I think, with Pat and Riley from memory. So they sort of had it like going before I joined the band. So I think they've been going since about 2016, 17. Just jamming in the garage, playing a lot of like the sort of youth group gigs. I was reached out to drum for them, and they already had Liam on bass by the time I joined. But once I started drumming, we did our first paid gig, which is like right here down at Singing Bird Studios.
Mm-hmm.
That went really well. We got a really good reception, both from younger and older crowd. A lot of the older dudes were sort of saying, "Oh yeah, like it's cool. You guys are doing like a throwback to like old school death metal, but keeping it new." Yeah, just kind of went from there. So after I think a year after I joined the band, he came along.
Mm-hmm.
And once that happened, everything just kind of kicked up a notch. There was a lot more technicality. We like wrote the our debut album along the Frankston line. Started just getting bigger and bigger shows, especially after COVID. Like a lot of the first shows we did after lockdown sold out. Like, gave us a lot of traction. Slowly started pushing interstate, and down the track had all the songs for Southeast Suffering written. It's just been progression over the years. Us obviously getting older, moving from the garage to the studios, so now we got our own factory as well. We print t-shirts.
Nice.
Yeah.
How would you describe the difference in the writing process between the Frankston line and this AEP?
It's hard to say because like every song's been different, not just the two releases.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of the songs for all along the Frankston line, like the foundations were written before I joined the band. And then we had a chunk of songs that I worked on with those guys that when Hemi came in, he like added his solos. Then from Hemi being in the band, we had a couple more songs that were written with like him in the writing process. So he'd help sort of write the foundations of the guitars. A lot of it's just like I think Frankston line was just us getting in the room jamming. We'd have a riff that would lead to another riff that would lead to another riff. Then the Southeast Suffering, I think, became a bit more that riff is really fucking throwing me off.
Being ominous.
It got a bit more chaotic for the Southeast Suffering. Whereas there'd be a lot more like sort of chopping up songs, like we'd write riffs that would later write riffs that worked well with those riffs, and that would lead to be a song or
riffs that write themselves.
Yeah. There's definitely a couple of songs where Hemi sort of took the lead writing that. I think there's one that Riley sort of wrote in a room with me, and then that became one of the songs. It chops and changes for every song. We try different things. At the moment, I think it's more of a group effort. Like we're sitting there at the same time, trying to all like go through every riff and make sure that we're happy with it, just make songs as clean as possible for our next releases.
Yeah. Now, lads, I have not lived in Melbourne. I lived in Melbourne for 3 years, but that was a long time ago. Lived in Glenroy, home of Bloodduster, apparently. And I wanted to know, so I saw the suburb named Frankston, and all I know about Frankston, I've never been there, but just that I remember the Chaser did a bit ages ago that every stand-up comedian loved to hang shit on Frankston. Like it's one of those places that just cops a lot of shit. How would you describe Frankston?
It's like Newcastle, but I can't finish that sentence.
Yeah. Go on.
Newcastle, but with less AJs? No.
I don't know, just less viewing platforms, I guess.
It's one of those things, and it sucks for music. Like Frankston gets such a bad rap because, like if you go north, Frankston North, it's pretty dodgy.
Yeah.
Further south you go, like
I love how he just gave us the thumbs up. He's like, yeah.
further south you go, I guess it's a lot more gentrified now. But like the beauty of Frankston for us as a music scene is what we do here is very hidden, very secluded. We don't publicly advertise it. Like I don't know if you've heard of Singing Bird Studios or the festival.
I have. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No public advertising really. Like Flipping the Bird will post the lineup poster and then we'll post the set times, and then that's like the 2 posts that are made, and it sells out for like over 1,000 tickets every year.
Wow.
And every year you get more and more people come along. They're like, "Oh man, I would have never known this place is here." It's like that's the beauty. We just pop out all these bands. Like outside of metal, we got Bella Lip Bombs and the Gnomes that are starting to push out, do more like big international supports. Or like Bella Lip Bombs are actually touring overseas and selling out their shows. Like no one knows that this is sort of where they started and that came from. And then, yeah, I guess like we're trying to sort of push out for the metal scene as well. Like, you know, it's a pretty, what's the word?
Brutal.
Yeah. Like, it's brutal. It's anti-jazz. Yeah, we'll roll with that. It's harder to, I guess, work up the chain for us because we're uncommercial. That's what. Like it's pretty uncommercial. So, but you know, we're slowly pushing there. We're starting to get a lot of better shows outside of Frankston now. But at the end of the day, there's a real cool thing here. It's a very like community-oriented place. The focus for the venues like pumping the money into the bands rather than just trying to take a massive cut, unlike some venues that we won't name.
We know them, don't worry.
But yeah, like, yeah, it's hidden. No one really knows about it. And I guess we get a bad rap because no one knows we've got this like heart of youth music right in the middle of
it. Yeah.
You do like a Billy Mays and be like, come on down. Get Stu to do it.
Yeah, I think we'd have to pay him a fair bit of money to get him doing that. But I don't know. Who knows what the future holds.
Now, the tour, you're a little bit into the tour now. You've done like 2 or 3 dates. Is that about right?
Yeah, so we've done the 3 New South Wales shows. We got Melbourne at the Bergy band room tomorrow night, and then down here at Singing Bird on Saturday.
Nice. So what? How would you describe the shows that have been going so far? How's MUNT been?
MUNT have been terrific. So they're showcasing their whole debut album in full. Like even just as a recorded piece of material, that album's fantastic. Like it's so well thought out. It's just like start to finish the whole way through. It's just like it's an absolute masterpiece.
I've got to interview him for this run, so yeah, I've already spoken to him. Yeah, it's wild, hey. Yeah,
I guess seeing how far those dudes have come, they were going long before we started. Anyway, they'd already really established themselves in the underground scene. Like seeing them be able to tour with Behemoth, and it was just recently they did Cryptopsy.
Yes.
Now they've just been announced for Ulcerate as well. Like they're doing amazing. Yeah, seeing that album played in the live sense, I'm really keen to see what they do tomorrow night because that's their official launch show. They got like full production.
Nice.
That's going to be the show to see. But what we've seen so far has been amazing. They're absolutely killing it. All the supports we played with have been phenomenal. Unfortunately, Fat Monica had to pull out the Newcastle show, but Kieran, the drummer, still came along. So
nice.
It's been good. Like it's always hard playing headline shows interstate when it's like it's the first sort of couple that we've done. Like we might have played a couple of bigger shows, but they're sort of as a support. So you know, we're seeing bigger and bigger numbers every time. That's good. It was the first time in Newcastle. That was Frankston with more viewing platforms, as Sammy puts it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Viewing platforms. I like that.
Yeah, the bars. It's always in the right spot.
Yeah, a couple more 3-story buildings.
Yeah, 3 stories.
I recently had a chat with Ulcerate, and they came up with a really interesting point. It was the drummer, and he was saying that with the rise of home recording technology and the ability to edit your shit really intensely in ways that you probably couldn't do 10, 20 years ago, that the unintended side effect of being able to fix everything and tune your drums to the absolute millimeter and all that kind of stuff is that everything starts to sound the same. And I thought that, there's an expression, perfect is the enemy of good. So what are your thoughts on that? Are you big sticklers for precision, or is it more a case of you just like things happening organically? How do you feel about
I think for us, we kind of set ourselves in the trap from the get-go of getting really crystal clear, or like a lot of time put into the production on the debut album.
it? Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fan of it all. Like, I've played in punk bands, I play in a slam band. So I've done really shitty sounding recordings with just like 2 channels, and I love it all. But I think for us, and our engineer, it's Max Dangerfield.
Yes,
so he drums for King Parrot and Goat Shaman, his own band. And he's a gun with it. Like, he takes his time, but he also really holds himself to the standard. So we've tried sort of saying, let's maybe tone it down a bit. And it doesn't really happen, but, not a bad problem to have. But he does exactly what you were saying, just tuning every single drum, like for hours on end to get it millimeter, whatever.
Yeah, whatever metric. I don't drum, but yes, precise as fuck. Yes.
Yeah. It's been great for us. But yeah, it's like you can't really go backwards from there. I've suggested that we do some like B-sides recordings and stuff, which we might down the track. But I don't know. We're happy with our production. It's all done in house again down in Frankston.
Yeah.
Wouldn't really trade it for anything else. Like, we're happy with how we sound, and it's good.
Nice. Now, what would a band from Frankston get on their rider if money or morality weren't factors?
Room temperature rivets.
No.
Yeah, we actually got that one time.
Yeah, we did.
Room temperature, what? Is that goon?
Nah.
It's like the goon.
It's the beer equivalent of goon, I guess. Audi rivets.
Comes in the truck, the one that they put the fuel in with.
Do you have Audi in Queensland?
Yes, we do. We can't buy booze from ours, though. I think that's only a Victoria thing, maybe? I don't know.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, no. The worst alcohol, back when I used to drink, I'm over 8 years sober these days, but back when I used to drink, the worst alcohol I've ever drunk, and the only alcohol I have ever thrown out instead of drinking it, because it was that terrible, was bought from Audi. It was some sort of Audi brand goon, and my God, even for me, I couldn't have it. This was beyond Fruity Lexia. Fruity Lexia was top shelf compared to whatever this fucking swill was. My God. That's the only 2 times I've thrown out alcohol. The other was homemade vodka that was probably more ethanol than, I think it was just ethanol in a bottle, and it would have set me blind.
No, that stuff's big as. No, this would be like a homebrew, so 60-70% alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like bathtub vodka.
Yeah. I think for us it's the room temperature rivets. I generally request a VHS copy of Chicken Run, but that hasn't happened yet. I got a poster, actually. It's right here. Hang on.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so I managed to get this at Flipping the Bird. This is the closest I've ever gotten. Yeah, maybe one day we'll get the VHS, and then hopefully the VHS player to go with it. See how we go.
What is the video? I remember seeing photos of some guy's living room, and he has been obsessively collecting tapes of a particular. It was just every edition of VHS copies of this one movie, and I'll be fucked if I can remember what movie it was, but shit, it was funny. Jerry Maguire, maybe? I don't know. It was a whole room of VHS tapes of this one god-awful movie. And I'm like, oh, dear. Similar energy. That's probably driving me nuts now.
It sounds like something.
What inspired the fixation on Chicken Run?
I can't remember. I mean, that movie's always been pretty close to the band's heart. I don't remember why I started asking for it. I think I'd just seen all these things about how, what was it, like Jimi Hendrix needed a bowl of green M&Ms or something.
M&Ms, that was Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Is that what it was? It's something like that.
There was actual method to that madness. That was no brown M&Ms. If we find one brown M&M, we're fucking out of here.
That was for the safety in that, wasn't it?
Yes, 100%. Yes, they
Yeah.
apparently their stage setup was so super complicated, and they were like, if we find a brown M&M, that means that this guy has not, has not taken due diligence. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't
That's
wonder.
like how because I've done the rider a couple of times for King Parrot down here, and they always put an ear of broccoli on,
Cut up and
which I
thrown into the
tend to
bin,
take for
Iggy Pop
myself.
style, or
What was that? Sorry.
I think that's a nod to Iggy Pop. The Stooges writer is available online, and it is fucking hilarious. It was probably written by a drunk roadie like 30 years ago, and one of the things is one clove of whatever, a head of broccoli chopped up and thrown in the bin. I fucking hate broccoli.
Let's go. I'll have to have a look at that after. But yeah, I don't know. What rider items would you ask for?
I'll put some batteries for all these pedals.
Yeah.
Batteries for what?
For the other guitarist pedals. Maybe some picks as well.
I have some picks, yeah. Also some drum skins and some drumsticks.
Yeah, no, I'm usually on top of that.
Guy,
I'm a lot more on top of that than
this guy waited until we got to Newcastle and then was like, all right, where's the nearest music store? And of course, like Manny's was closed. So we had to go to this other one. It was like this massive guitar store. So I'm just in there looking at all these like $16,000 Steve Vai sign things.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what did you need to get? It was like
a skin and some sticks.
Snare skin and some sticks. Thought I was bad.
Why would you rock up to a city where you're playing a gig in with functional drums as a drummer? Now, come on.
Well, because I had looked at it beforehand, and it said there was a music store right around the corner from the venue. As it turned out, that was about 10 years ago.
He planned out that he was going to go there.
Luckily, we had a car, so that was all good. It's better than getting to the gig and not having battery. But
Oh, that is now going to be the headline of this piece. Drummer arrives at gig without drums.
At least it didn't fall off the back of the trailer this time.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, drummer did rock up to a gig without drums once. It was a tour with Bludger, my other band. I had a trailer that had been welded together by an Ashay. Immediate red flag. I know, probably should have figured out then. Basically, on the way up, one of the ratchet straps had come loose, so one of the toms had gone flying out and lost somewhere between Shepparton and Wodonga.
Oh, no.
Another one was hanging out and was grinding along the road while I was driving. My snare was also hanging out. Luckily, that didn't hit the ground, so I managed to recover that. Then on the way back, the welding on the trailer came apart. So we had to get an emergency weld done at like 6 o'clock in Yass.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah. There's a million other stories I could tell you about that tour. That's definitely the most chaotic one I've had yet, but I'll leave it at that.
Mate, the perils of the road. Oh, dear. Were you able to make do with one tom?
Well, luckily I brought a big kit set up, so I lost one rack tom, one floor tom. I still had another rack tom and floor tom. So, yeah.